So last night I made a post about 9 of 23 NBA players, and also in regards to today being a day loaded with a lot of coding for the assassination of Obama. I said I really didn't think that he's going to be assassinated. I mean, he possibly could, but what I was more getting at is that today was going to be a significant day and probably have a lot of coding to his assassination that I believe is coming up. I also talked about how I think that the Warriors versus the Knicks game tonight will have a good story to tell, probably something to do with this as well. Anyway, today when I wake up, I see this article on CNN. Obama announces Supreme Court nominee Merrick Garland. And I mean, look at the time on this. Right away I notice 11:06. I talked about that last night as June 6th or 11-6 or 6-11 is the 163rd day of the year this year. The video that they give us is even 1 minute long. In Gematria, if you write out 1 minute, it equals 44 and also 116, a lot like the 11-6. And of course, Obama, the 44th president, or labeled as the 44th president, actually the 43rd president. So once again, if all of this coding isn't to Obama being assassinated, it's in regards to the 44, the kill number. So it could be the next president to be elected and whatnot. What really stuck out to me in regards to this article, though, is that today is 32 days before or after Antonin Scalia died. If you do the end date, it's 33, which is also interesting, but it's 32 days without the end date. Barack Obama equals 32 and 68 in Gematria. Today is also 68 days before the 144th day of the year on May 23rd. This number all around political assassinations. It's also 4 weeks and 4 days after Antonin Scalia died on the 44th day of the year. Also, it's 311 days until the next president takes office, if you include the end date, which is also a span of 44 weeks. So 44 weeks before the next president takes office, also 311 days if you include the end date. 311, super significant day in regards to the Paris attacks. Charlie Hebdo happened 311 days before the Paris attacks. This guy, who he nominated, born the same day as the Paris attacks. He turned 63 that day. If you go from the Paris attacks, November 13th, 2015 to today, it's a span of 4 months and 4 days. The 44, also 125 days. I even mentioned last night about how the Warriors their last game, they beat the Pelicans and they scored 125 points. If you write out Obama assassinated on March 16th, it equals 125. So anyway, they gave us this little thing here too. Obama told us about this in his speech at the White House Rose Garden, which was interesting because White House Rose Garden equals 239 in Gematria. This guy born in 52. The 52nd prime is 239. We're in the 239th year of the United States right now. September 23rd, the big day with Pope Francis, can also be written as 23-9. Also, I found it kind of weird on the CNN article, they wrote Obama said, one of America's sharpest legal minds. It's just kind of a weird phrase. They forgot the S. One of America's sharpest legal minds. To me, it should have an S on it. I don't know. If you write that out in Gematria, though, it equals 136 and also 307. Remember, 136 equals 107. My internet even went out last night at 136 on 316. Also interesting, Joseph Biden in Gematria equals 107. He'd become the next president if Obama was assassinated. This Merrick Garland guy is also 63 years old. The 63rd prime is 307. Also interesting is that America equals 32 in gematria, and if you write out Americas, it equals 33. Just like how I said this was 32 days after Antonin Scalia died, or also if you include the end date, 33. So most likely no mistake that they put America and not Americas in there. I mean, this could be nothing. I was just thinking about, his name Merrick Garland. When I think of Garland, I think of two things, Judy Garland and also Christmas. Christmas just so happens to be 11 weeks and 6 days before March 16th. Also 2 months, 21 days. 221 is even the 52nd day of the year. It's the backwards 122. 83, the backwards of the 38, the death number. Judy Garland, her real name is Frances Ethel Gum. That adds up to 71 in gematria, just like Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland, the lawgiver, just like Moses, who equals 71. The Ten Commandments equals 71. There's been lots of 71 recently. World War III also equals 71, but lots of recent ones. The Super Bowl 50 equals 71. They played in Levi's Stadium. Moses was in the tribe of Levi. I mentioned clear back in November there was a lot going on, something to do with judges. And then Antonin Scalia dies, and now today is even a bigger day. Or just a big day, not a bigger day. And that judge thing, what I was mentioning back in November was coded to the Michigan State Spartans, which interesting, they've been a big talk going into the Final Four tournament or whatever that starts tomorrow or tonight, depending on how you look at it. So just interesting, something to watch for. Michigan State still even has the player Denzel Valentine, who wears number 45. Valentine's the 45th day of the year. Denzel Valentine even made the game winner last year on Valentine's Day. And the Wizard of Oz really sticks out because of the train derailment in Kansas on Pi Day, Steph Curry's birthday, 314. Train derailment equals 163, just like Barack Hussein Obama, just like Obama assassinated, just like Make America Great Again, which lots of people would think America would be a lot better off if Obama wasn't the president. And the Wizard of Oz connects to Kansas. We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. It's also a really important state in regards to the Civil War domestic violence type theme they've been trying to do in the media. Kansas was the 34th and last state to join the Union before the Civil War. It became a state 34 days before Lincoln became president on 3/4/1861. Lincoln died 4 years, 3 days after the Civil War began. He was born on the 43rd day of the year. The 20th Amendment changed the president from starting on 3/4 to 120, which is also a span of 43 days, 120 to 3/4. The first president to start his presidency on 120 was the 34th President Eisenhower, also the 43rd term president. They did it to lower the lame duck, which sticks out because the Republicans don't want they didn't want him to nominate anybody to replace Scalia until the next president because he's in his lame duck period and they think it should be left up to the new president and whatnot. So that's why that story really sticks out with these numbers. Also, lame duck equals 34, Civil War equals 43, Lincoln 34, assassination 34, murder equals 43. Or actually, I wrote these in there backwards. This equals 43, this equals 34. Doesn't really matter. It's both the same point I'm trying to make. The Philadelphia train wreck there was a lot of importance to it last year. It happened at 9:23. Going 106, whatever, the engine number 601. It all ties back into even LeBron James and Pope Francis's visit to the United States. So I wonder if the Kansas train wreck is just telling us about the next president or, the civil war that they're trying to create with all the division and whatnot, especially in regards to the Donald Trump and whatnot. I mean, they are just pounding us with this ridiculous Donald Trump stories. I mean, it's just insane. Like today, they had a whole deal about him saying start a riot or whatever, and blah, 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 you know? It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's caused nothing but people just arguing over something that doesn't even matter. I honestly cannot believe that people still think that they can elect a president and it's going to change stuff. I mean, it's just crazy that people still think that. I haven't thought that since, George Bush beat Al Gore. I mean, CNN falsely reports that Al Gore wins, then there's the whole voting scandal little thing and whatnot. And then Al Gore even wins the popular vote and still loses. And it wouldn't have mattered if he was, at the time I thought, what a joke, it's all George Bush and blah, blah, blah. But it wouldn't matter. If Al Gore was the president, it wouldn't have changed anything. I mean, it's all planned anyway. I can't believe people can't see that. But whatever, let's move on here. So, also in regards to The Wizard of Oz, it's famous for the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Rainbows are the gay symbol. The media always seems to associate the gay people, love Judy Garland and Marilyn Monroe. Tons of movies with gay people where they love Judy Garland and Marilyn Monroe. Gay marriage was legalized on 6/26 last year. I've talked a lot about this day over and over. It was also the same day Obama sang Amazing Grace at Clementa Pinckney's funeral. It was 9 days after 9 people got shot. Remember, Lincoln got shot and he died 9 hours and 9 minutes later. 9 months and 9 days after this day is 4/4/44, April 4th. Also, if you go from today and you go to June 26th, it's a span of 14 weeks and 4 days. Super interesting. If you include the end date, it would be 3 months and 11 days, the 3/11. That would also make it 14 weeks and 5 days, just like Chicago, Illinois. Just like the amount of people on the Kansas train. The Wizard of Oz will even celebrate its 77th anniversary this year on 8/25, which also just so happens to be 163 days from today. That number just showing up all over. Today is 16-3. It's also 23 weeks and 2 days, 232. Kansas and Jewish gematria equals 232. Satan equals 232. If you write out 232, it equals 101. Talked a lot about Philadelphia just being coded like crazy. Philadelphia equals 101. The Wizard of Oz, even 101 minutes long. I also made a video about the Philadelphia experiment a long time ago in regards to gay marriage and the Civil War type theme. If you write out, or the Philadelphia experiment is also called Project Rainbow, so it makes sense with the gay marriage stuff. Philadelphia experiment in gematria also equals 122, just like Pope Francis and Golden State and whatnot. I also want to point out that Marilyn Monroe was born in 1926 and died in 62, the mirrors. She also died 66 days after her 36th birthday, if you include the end date, so 2 6s again. She died on 8/5/1962. Her real name, Norma Jean Mortensen, equals 85. She supposedly had an affair with JFK on 3/24/1962, then sung Happy Birthday, Mr. President on 5/19/1962. A span of 56 days are also 1 month, 25 days. We talked a lot about 56 with death and whatnot, and Paris, France, ISIS, Adolf Hitler, Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein all equal 56. Lincoln died 56 in the year 65 in April, the only month that adds up to 56. I also talked about Kevin Garnett, who equals 56 and was born on this day. I've talked about that a lot. So just interesting, all of this. But when she supposedly had the affair with JFK, Obama was 232 days old. So moral of the story, he probably won't be assassinated today, but today was definitely a big day for coding and other events that are in the media. I'm anxious to see what happens in the Knicks-Warriors game tonight. Who knows, Just pointing it out. There's a lot of interesting things in coding going on today. I'm sure there's more. I just haven't even really taken that much time to look into this. So, whatever. Have a good one.